we've got all of our speakers on the panel today, and we're going to jump into things. I'm our Director of Business Development at Infineo, Jackson Blau, and you're to our bi-weekly real-world asset tokenization space. On these, we typically have on a guest speaker, and we highlight a really innovative project in the real-world asset tokenization space. And I'm really excited to have on a project that I'm just learning about myself, and it seems really exciting. They're doing really exciting things in the digital asset space, specifically pertaining to tokenized real-world assets and cryptocurrencies, which are floating right now. So we're going to be having a great discussion today on tokenized real-world assets and DaffiWallet's path to everyday real-world utility. And so with that, I'm joined by our chief economist, Dr. Robert Murphy, and our chief information officer, Garcia. And we have two speakers joining us today from DaffiOne. I'd love if you guys could give a quick introduction for the audience. Evis and Alex. Evis, would you like to kick it off and maybe tell us a little bit about Daffi too?
Yeah, definitely. Nice to meet you, Jackson, even virtually, electronically. And it's Tony and Robert, as you said?
Yes, Tony and Robert. And I'll let them get a brief introduction.
Great. Nice to meet you guys. So I'm Evis. I've been in technology since 1984. The first time I saw a blockchain in front of me was 1997 at MIT. And since then, I've been working from around to join this incredible decentralized revolution. Personally, I created my own company, an IT company, which I sold in 2012. And I focused on business transformation and digital transformation for legacy companies until 2 months ago, which I joined DaffiOne and the journey into a fully decentralized, not having to deal with the middleman situation platform. So Alex told me about your amazing initiative at Infineo, and I jumped in immediately. And I would love to discuss the current situation, what happened, the past decade in brief, and what is about to happen the next 5 years, 10 years.
That sounds incredible, Evis. And with that background, we're very, very thankful to have an expert like you on our space. And I know we're also joined by Alex from your team, who's been a past guest on our space. Alex, would you like to give another intro for the listeners who it might be their first time?
Yeah, 100%. First of all, thank you, Jackson. Thank you, Robert and Cody. It's a great pleasure to join you, gentlemen, once again. Last time I worked with you, I was a part of Stasis, your stablecoin, and I'm happy to confirm that I've joined another initiative. I really believe in DaffiOne's mission wallet to empower unbanked and redefine the meaning of frictionless finances. You probably don't know that. Not yet. DAFI stands for Decentralized Frictionless Autonomous Finance, and it's really incredible. It's a cross-tier platform that aims to this financial landscape to, like Avis said, remove the middleman and make these interactions from like Web2 realm with crypto seamless. It's designed for everyday use to provide inclusive digital tools that seamlessly integrate your daily life, manage your finance, and straightforward way, intuitive, right? So whether you want to send money, interact with these meme coins, or explore the future of finance, we've got you back. We're going to be more than just crypto wallet, more than just a few dozens of blockchain. It's about education, empowerment in crypto field, and of course, a lot of features that's going to be announced soon enough. So with that, I'm happy to kick off and give the word to Evis. Thanks again, gentlemen.
Thank you, Alex. And as always, it's a pleasure to have you on the space today. And with that, I think that we can dive into a conversation that we have planned. And so, as you guys may or may not know, at Infineo, we are working on tokenizing life insurance. It's never been done before. We are the first to do it in Infineo, and we've done it to the tune of over 250 million on Provenance blockchain to date. And so we're very in the weeds in this tokenized real world asset space. And as you just mentioned, DaffiWallet seems to be the one-stop shop for people in the digital asset space. So can you speak a little bit to how you guys are approaching tokenization and allowing your users to integrate with tokenized real world apps? And also go on to talk a little bit about the different assets such as stablecoins and cryptocurrencies, meme coins even that you mentioned.
Yeah, definitely. So before I start saying anything about DaffiOne, can you elaborate a little bit more on what you're doing with the insurance landscape? Because it's my first visit, and it's massively interesting because I read a little bit about AI and combining blockchain about in the insurance industry. What are you actually doing?
Of course.
If you don't mind us.
No, it's a great question. So on June 1st, we released our flagship product known as the Ledger. And anyone with a life insurance policy can go to our Ledger today at ledger.infineo.ai, and you can actually create a digital representation of your life insurance policy that is stored on Provenance blockchain. We believe in a multi-chain future with Provenance right now. And what this allows you to do in the interim, there aren't a ton of on-chain features yet, but we're building those out. What this does is it solves for a longstanding issue in the life insurance industry known as unclaimed death benefits. There are billions of death benefits each year that aren't claimed by individuals that they should be, meaning I have a life insurance policy and you're the beneficiary and I pass away. If I pass away, you actually need to know the policy and where and how to claim it. And right now, because the entire life insurance industry is paper-based, everything is pretty inefficient, and this leads to billions in unclaimed death benefits. And so our initial technology allows you to create a digital representation of your life insurance policy, solve for unclaimed death benefits, access AI Bob, which is your 24/7 all-encompassing life insurance tool that you can ask questions about your policy. And then by creating this digital record, what it allows us to do is continue building out the infrastructure to allow for trading and leveraging your life insurance policies completely on-chain. So most people don't know this, but you can actually sell your life insurance policy to another person. And this actually makes a lot of sense for individuals at times. There are hundreds of billions of life insurance policies that are just surrendered back to the carrier for essentially their floor price each year. These contracts are essentially fixed income assets that investors have been buying off of individuals in the secondary market for decades. And it's just been hard for individual investors to access. So we're opening this up to a global market by creating an on-chain marketplace of these policies. And for policyholders, you'll also be able to take out instantaneous loans against these policies because these policies, as I said, have a floor price. And so they serve as a great vehicle to collateralize for loans because they're straight cash collateral. And so that is what we're doing at Infineo. And I know that was a lot. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Actually, it wasn't a lot. But I don't want to reverse it and make it for me to be the interviewer and you to be the panelist. But it's incredible. I have 4 kids. I have a couple, 3-4 insurance policies. So maybe they could miss one of them. If I suddenly die and they don't know what's going on, maybe they could miss it. And I didn't know that I could also transfer the insurance policy. You got me thinking right now about medical plans also. I might have an accident and not be able to communicate that I have an insurance policy with the MedLife or any Bupa. You could tokenize that and give access to your kids on blockchain to have instant access of what's going on instead of having the paper world, the legacy insurance industry's work. That's genius. I mean, it's and we started talking about tokenization of assets and how we can. How DaffiOne could play a role in this. DaffiOne, it's a technology company, right? It's a team of developers that they have been developing for the past 48 months. And Mark Bernier, who's the founder and CTO, he called me back in August asking me if we could commercialize what he has developed after reviewing everything for a couple of weeks, because I knew the project for 4 years, but I didn't know how intelligently they have developed something that could bridge Web 2 and Web 3, create a middle of the road situation where the 2 trillion tokenized digital securities that we're seeing today could converge into a Web 3 environment on a completely centralized and bank-free situation through DAOs and governance and many other aspects that they're completely unknown to people that they don't understand blockchain or what a token is or what a coin is or why a coin exists. Why do we have coins and what do they do? And I think I'm going to try to be very, brief and simple so our audience can follow up, and please jump in if you want to ask something, guys. And Tony, if you want to ask something while I'm speaking, please jump in. So I think that what we're doing is something that has never been done before. All right, because we created a wallet which today has 12 chains, and each chain has its own seed phrase. And the seed phrase is, of course, stored in the CPU of the phone. So it's actually is not on the web. There are no keys flowing around the web like some other wallets. So by having your own unique account within the wallet, it means that you have complete control of your account on Solana, on 11, 10 Ethereum layer 2s right now, and Ethereum, of course, including Base, Arbitrum, and Optimus, and Avalanche, of course, and Algorand. And soon we're going to have XRP, which I think it's a brilliant ledger, and XLM, which will accommodate the billions of transactions that we're going to have per day. What are we asking for here? We're asking for instant finality, scalability, security, and of course performance at a very low cost, so people can transact, either buying your coffee or buying a penthouse at the Billionaires Avenue in New York. Everybody wants to have instant access to their funds. People want to use their funds easily, and they don't want anyone to know about it. I'm not saying we're gonna create the wild wide west here, but without having regulation. But actually having regulation, and for Daffy Digital being regulated and having license in all jurisdictions that it operates, it means that there is proper KYC, there is proper AML through our partners, there's proper monitoring of the on-chain transactions without having to pay those insane fees that we have to pay today to banks, to brokers. Because, at the end of the day, a bank is a broker, isn't it? So having the wallet created, the next task was to create a payment system that will pair with the wallet. A payment system that does not need a bank to transact. So our merchants will install a dashboard that will give them instant access to their money when collected. It could be a very nice by the beach cafe at San Lucia, or Seychelles, or Monaco, or Limassol, Cyprus. It could be a restaurant in Hong Kong, or Starbucks. Or why not chains that they have 26,000 stores and they want to get their money instantly, instead of waiting a couple of days and having the risk of not getting them? Isn't it like that? So yeah, I did not deep into tokenization, which is an incredible tool for everything to have a footprint on a blockchain, like from a whiskey bottle to Ronaldo, from an apartment to an insurance policy, from my car. I want to tokenize my car because I think my car is unique. It's, I bought it in 1976. It has unique features. It was one of a kind. I want to tokenize it and put it and create a unique collectible. So it's like a serialized vehicle that is worth 1.3 million US dollars. But, people don't just have 1.3 million dollars to spend on one car. So I tokenize it, and maybe 13,000 people could buy a portion of it. It could be listed on any exchange. And we're seeing this today. It's a little bit complicated, but I think eventually, the next couple of years, we all going to realize that it's happening. I have a company, right? So let's take Daffy Digital. All right, it's the mother company of DaffiOne, which is the technology provider and has the IP. So Daffy Digital is a company in the UK. I don't want to go and run into NASDAQ to list it. I want to have 10% tokenized and give the opportunity to anyone around the world, from Somalia to many countries in Africa, Asia, Europe, or any country in the world, any citizen of this planet, to own a piece of Daffy Digital through an exchange. It would be very easy because they could buy the token, they could have instant access to the increase of the price and the rewards that the company would be giving them back. They will have instant access to the development of the company, what's going on, and through governance, they will have, even if they own a very small piece of the company, they will have they will be able to take decisions on that. Guys, am I too long?
Great. I have a bunch of follow-up questions. This is just been incredible at this. I just wanted to clarify for people that may not be as familiar with the concept of tokenizing cars, that this has actually happened. In 2020, there was a company, Curio Invest, that tokenized a collective car. And obviously, if you're tokenizing a car, you're probably not going to divide it up as like a timeshare and give each person a couple hours to drive the car. It's more as a collectible. They'll have someone custody the car and they're looking to resell it and give their investors a return on it. And it actually makes a lot of sense. And I believe that they had a lot of success. It was Curio Invest in 2020 did that. And then I loved where you took that in terms of tokenizing equity. The company I work for actually did the first tokenized Reg C app in the United States through Securitize. And so you brought up something a little earlier. You just mentioned that you're compliant within all the jurisdictions you work in and you hope to one day use your equity. I'd love to just ask where you guys are based and where you guys can take in users.
We're all over the world. Today, I'm in Cyprus. I don't know if you know Cyprus in Europe. It's a European country. Sometimes I say Cyprus, they tell me we're in Florida. There's Cyprus gardens in Florida, so people don't understand. And excuse my language, I'm Greek. I speak Greek. I'm trying to be as fluent as possible in English. So on behalf of all the Greek community, I'm sorry if I sound a little bit weird. Mark Bernier is in. All right, thanks for that. So Mark Bernier is he lives in the Caribbean islands and St. Martins. He develops there. We have a team in India. We have a team in Sweden. We have amazing partners all around the world working for us, like A-Tube, Rapid Innovation. Alex just joined the team. He came from with huge experience from the stable coin market. He was part of Eurostasis, and now he's putting all the puzzles together for us to commercialize what Mark is building. We have people in Canada, people that found us to continue bootstrapping this, which is, I'm sure everybody knows how tough it is when you're paying the last 4 years without having income. We never got any funding. We never got any grant. Nobody gave us money. Everything is bootstrapped from the owners. And we're going to continue bootstrapping this till the end. We believe that it's the only way forward. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to tokenize 5 to 10% of the company because we have many investors wanting to enter. And we do believe in tokenization. I personally believe that by 2030, we're going to see 2 trillion of digital securities. I do believe that this is McKinsey said that by 2030, we're going to see 2 trillion of tokenized digital securities. Standard Chartered said that $30 trillion will flow into tokenized assets by 2034. Guys, these are incredible numbers. 34 trillion will be unique. It's not going to be leveraged. What we're seeing today all around the world are leveraged positions on bonds, on treasuries, on equities. We all know that it's a common secret that people leverage the positions easily through forex companies to enter the equities market. With tokenization, you will not be able to do that. When you buy a token, it's that token. When you buy a coin, it's that coin. They're trying to do it now with Bitcoin. The ETFs are buying coins and they're selling ETFs to the world. I'm trying to explain to people that when they're buying ETF, they're not buying the coin. They don't own the coin. The coin, it's owned by Dick and Harry and Mary in their DaffiOne wallet. So if they decide they want to buy Algo or Arbitrum or Avalanche, Avax, they can store it. They can store that coin in the wallet, and that's about it. If an ETF is created on Solana tomorrow, the ETF will not have the coin. So I think that tokenization is the only way forward for everything. And that would be the beauty of blockchain. That would be the beauty of security, safety, knowing what you have, what you own, and the way you access it. I'm a strong believer in the seed phrasing.
Could you talk a little more about what the seed tracing is? I'm not as technical, so as familiar with seed tracing. And maybe a little background on that would be.
Yep. So I will take it. If you go to a bank today and you apply for a bank account, what do? They do KYC, they get some documents, and all of the banks, they're online, they give you a username and a password, correct? And maybe they give you a way to access it through a 2FA or some OTP, and maybe some banks from Switzerland, they call you to see if it's you, etc., etc. So this is today. And the world of blockchain, in the world of, blockchain was created not today, guys. I'm sure that some people know that they're in tech, especially in tech. It was introduced by Haber and Stornetta in 1994. I mean, when they were at the Surety Technologies, those two people created blockchain, and the blockchain was tokenized by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2008 when he created the first monetary system that you could transact and send money easily through a what? Your Nokia communicator at the time. We used to send Bitcoin here and there, 1,000 Bitcoin, 10,000 Bitcoin, between friends, when it was 0.0008 cents. And, it was like Pokemon cards for us, guys. It was like a game. We could not grasp or understand what was happening. It was a completely new concept. I did not believe in it. I mean, it took me a couple of years to realize that this could take off. Some people, took it from the first time. I'm more intelligent than me, of course. I did not, but it took me a couple of years, by 2010, to start realizing that this could really take off. This could be a global currency. This could be dollarize the world. So the seed phrase came along, and it changed for us, understanding how we could safely protect coins on chain. Because previously we said that we own the coins in the wallet, but actually the coins are on chain, and what we own is the seed phrase. So by owning the seed phrase, you own the coins, and nobody else does. There are means of securing the seed phrases, either being on paper in your safe or laminating them, or I don't know if you remember those metallic things you used to put your words and creating your seed phrase and
Of course.
and saving them. So now let's think of electric cars. Okay, I'm gonna finalize, and you will understand where I'm taking it. All right. Today we have our internal combustion engine cars. We love them. We like the sound. We have 911s, Lamborghinis, and people are creating all those incredible sounds. But let's say that in 1920, 1930, electric car was the choice of humanity to drive around. If somebody came today and told you that, I created this car with an engine and a gearbox that you have to change gears, 5-6 gears, and then you need a timing belt, and you need to put oil every 6,000 kilometers, and it makes all this sound and vibration. Then you go, every 100 kilometers, you need to stop at a McDonald's and have a Big Mac for your brain to stabilize, and it breaks and it does that, and you need to service it. You would say, madness. I want my electric car. And, this is exactly what's going on with usernames and passwords. and 2FAs and OTPs. We have them. We think that this is the way, and having a seed phrase is insanity. It's not the best way out there. I'm sure that in a couple of years, we're going to have some seed tracing and seed paths towards ownership. That is a little bit better than having 25 words. But, and I think today also there's some solution that you could have three, breaking the 24 words into three places. And then if you lose, if somebody finds the 6 words, they will need the other 18 to combine and have a complete seed phrase. But what I'm getting at is that I think that the way chain is constructed, the coins are on chain, and I own the coins by having the seed phrase, is ingenious. And it's way better than having a username and a password and having to do all of these crazy things to KYC and AML.
Yeah, this that where the brilliance of this from a security standpoint come in. I think one of the challenges is when we start looking at solutions like seed phrase, we tend to see too much point solution in this space from wallets and finite solutions. And to your point, I think people tend to forget that confidentiality and availability are on opposite sides of the spectrum from a cybersecurity standpoint, but they're both cybersecurity, right? An asset that anyone else can get to is poorly secured. An asset that you can't get to is also poorly secured, right? So it is one of those things about you have to provide user convenience on top of confidentiality and security from attack or threat actors and other things getting access. So I think what really impressed me about the Daffi solution is that approach toward cyber resiliency, right? You're really distributing that risk. You're providing broader access across an ecosystem. And it's not a simple point solution of go here to get your token or your Bitcoin, and then somebody loses the wallet or does whatever with it. It's on a hard drive and ends up in a landfill, et cetera, right? So I really think it's an amazing solution from that standpoint. My apologies for interrupting.
Well, I mean, you said in brief what I was trying to say and explain. This is the way. People need to, they need to take the responsibility of their own money. Guys, I don't know if you know, in 2013, Cyprus went through the largest levy in the history of mankind. We woke up in March 2013, and the banking system deleted all the deposits of all accounts. The local banks deleted. Everybody was left, even if they had 67 million euro, they were left with a 100,000 euro. And all the shares, the corporate bonds, the government bonds, the convertible bonds, they were gone. The shares of the banks, they were gone forever. That's why I accelerated myself into learning more about blockchain, learning more about self-custodial wallets and payment systems, and dreaming of how I could insert myself and to help a project excel in this landscape. And I really appreciate of giving us the mic to discuss and to explain what we're doing. It's very important for us, guys.
Yeah, if I could jump in, this is Bob Murphy, the economist at Infineo. Fascinating discussion so far. But yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, Evis, because I was going around with my business partners. I'm doing presentations for people in the financial sector in the United States, and we kept pointing to Cyprus and just saying, your money's not safe in the bank. Like, look what happened. And in the U.S., we have what's called FDIC, and we were just showing the numbers and how, the government's, it's like they had less than 1% of the funds covered. You know what I mean? So like if there was a bank run or if a bank failed, they really did not have a very thick layer of protection. And yet people were thinking like, my money's safe in the bank. And so anyway, I applaud, your recognition of that. And that I think we really are building a parallel financial system that's actually safer, even though in the public's eye, they sometimes feel like blockchain is a volatile thing. And no, this is actually safer too.
Rob, is it a parallel financial system, or is it the way the financial system should have been constructed in the first place? It took 1,500 years for this to jump. I'm sure people know that it was because of Greeks again, of the Byzantium problem. You know how Bitcoin was created, correct?
You mean solving the general problem, the Byzantine generals?
Yeah. It was so easy to, tell the Turks where to enter, they enter, and that's it. That's the same thing with the central land registry vault. I mean, everything is centralized. What if Microsoft tomorrow decides to close down? What's going to happen? 85 million companies will stop operating. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen. I mean, part of, I'm in Cyprus where I've seen it happen. But what if Facebook decides to, what if Twitter closes down? Those are central entities. I mean, are we creating a parallel financial system, or is it, are we correcting the financial system? And it will correct fast because of innovation, because of AI, because of AGI, because of ASI. I think this time around it's not going to take 1,500 years. It's going to take, let's say, 30 years, 3 decades. So we're already year 15, and we have another 15 years for what you're doing and we're doing to the world. Banks are brokers, isn't it? You're the economist, you said at Infineo, correct?
Yep, that is correct.
So banks are brokers. Banks are, they're the people think that they put their money in the bank and that money belongs to them. It doesn't. It's an investment contract, isn't it? And that investment contract, the bank can do whatever they want with it. And they can, I don't know, they have 14%. What's in the States? 14%, 15%? When they go through stress tests, what they need to keep as cash, that 15%?
I think it varies by bank. Isn't that correct, Robert or Dr. Murphy?
As you're talking, but what's interesting is we used to have a statutory requirement, and they actually got rid of that in 2020. So there's no legal, at least as far as like the reserve requirement. There might be like capital requirements that back into that, but yes, legally, when you deposit your money with the bank, even with a checking account, yes, you're technically lending them the money, and they owe it to you if they are like safeguarding it for you.
But okay, so the discussion is amazing, guys. So you lend the money to the bank, and the bank lends the money to somebody else. So they lend the money, my money, they take my money and they give it to somebody else. And there is a bank run and my money is gone. And I asked for my money and said, I don't have it. It's gone. Somebody else took it. So, I don't want to mention the word Ponzi scheme, but, I don't know if it's not a Ponzi scheme. And you said 2020, the capital requirements went down to 0.
The reserve requirement, yeah.
The reserve requirement. So, yeah. Okay. All right. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, not to hijack this, but yeah, like the specific school of thought that I come from in economics thinks that the business cycle itself is caused by this very phenomenon that people deposit their money with a bank, so they still think they have that money. The bank lends a bunch of it out to somebody else, and now those people think they have the money, and there's a sense in which the banking system expands and contracts the money stock, and that causes interest rates to fluctuate. And the idea is that there causes a boom, and then when everyone panics and they tighten, and that causes a bust. And so that's why I'm so interested in what we're doing at Infineo and what it sounds like you guys are doing, that we can make a form of money that really is backed up, that has 100% reserve that people can see is transparent, and that, among other things, that might alleviate the business cycle besides just giving peace of mind, to depositors.
I mean, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to revolutionize the payment landscape by leveraging blockchain technology, power merchants and customers globally. And this would be achieved by creating a completely decentralized payment system, which is ready, by the way. DaffiOne Pay, it's ready. It will be released in a couple of weeks. All we're waiting now is from Apple, which is again a centralized company, to approve the IOs, which they don't give us because they don't believe us that we don't charge fees. They want to get their portion of the fees, 25%, from fees we do not charge. We gave all the documentation from Change Now, from all our partners, and now, they have no option to give us the go-ahead because we don't charge anyone anything. Of course, we need to live as a company needs to make some profit. So we're going to be, instead of charging 2 and 4 and 5%, in some cases 10% to merchants, we're going to be charging a very small amount, maybe 1/10 of that. So we could make a lot of money on a lot of transactions. As any company, we're not a non-profit organization. We want to make a profit. We want to give money back to the people that they've been developing for the past 4 years. And the way to do it is the way companies that they have billions of transactions and a small profit on those transactions do it.
Yeah, for people not as familiar with that industry right now, it's a pretty crazy industry. I have a friend and was explaining it to me, and sometimes the payment processors are able to just charge 5% flat on the merchant's payments, and that really adds up. And it's so much that they can actually end up doing kickbacks to the merchant. And so I really love what you're doing on the payment side, Evis. That's incredible. And one more thing I would love to dive into a little bit. We've been talking a lot about self-custody and how important that is, especially when it comes to your money and banking, and how a lot of you don't actually have custody of your own money when that's with the bank. But what a lot of people in crypto often don't realize is the biggest or the most popular way a lot of people get into cryptocurrency now is through these centralized exchanges like Coinbase, Binance, Kraken. And they don't really understand that it's a similar concept, that they don't actually have custody of their assets a lot of times. Evis, I'd love if you could explain how just dive into a little bit about how centralized exchanges work and how you really don't have custody on them, and why a solution like Daffy really rivals them and is the better solution. And if not, we can go into a different topic.
Yeah, no. Let's. It's an incredible subject, and I'm going to be very brief and a little bit graphic, if you allow me. So, what's a centralized exchange? It's like a restaurant. You go in, you do what you have to do, and you go out, and that's it. I don't think anybody goes to a restaurant and sleeps there, or stays in the restaurant to watch the TV, isn't it? So, what's a centralized exchange? It gives you access to coins to buy them and put them in your wallet. And that's it. You need to go to the exchange, buy what you want to buy, and then transfer them to your wallet. That's why we have focused on, and we have 12 chains. And each chain, it's a unique account in the wallet. That's why we're going to add XRP and XLM, and soon we're going to put CELO. By the end of 2025, we're estimating, of course, with Bitcoin also coming in, to have around 20 chains. Because a centralized exchange is basically, it's what the word says. It exchanges your fiat to crypto. It gives you some coins, but those coins belong to them until you move them out. I don't want to remind people FTX or Celsius or empty jobs that people still waiting. Empty jobs was very good for the holders of Bitcoin. The concept was that somebody took their money, somebody put, okay, I want to buy Bitcoin today. What's Bitcoin? $80,000. I have $80,000 card. I transfer $80,000 to Coinbase or any other exchange. I buy one Bitcoin and I leave that Bitcoin in that account in the exchange. The exchange owns that Bitcoin. I own nothing, just a string of codes that it's that account which I can send some other coins, Bitcoin, of course, always the unique account that I have Bitcoin in, I can only send Bitcoin, or I can send it out. So guys, if you want to own some crypto assets, go out there and buy them on a centralized exchange, because we're talking about centralized exchanges, and bring them to your wallet, preferably to DaffiOne wallet. Or you could connect your DaffiOne wallet on a decentralized exchange, and that will be so much easier. You buy the coins on-chain, and they stay on-chain in your wallet, and you have your seed phrases, and that's about it. And you could actually cross-swap and multi-chain swap in the wallet. So if you own one Solana today, and you want to change it to Ethereum, you could do it in the DaffiOne wallet instantly, immediately. Is that
That was perfect. And that actually takes me to a point that we missed a little earlier that I'd love to learn a little more about. We really believe in a cross-chain future here at Infineo. Like I said, we're building on provenance right now, but we really do believe in cross-chain compatibility and having multi-chain functionality. And so you've talked about how you have a support for multiple different chains, a lot of EVM-based and Ethereum layer 2s as well. I'm just curious, what sort of multi-chain compatibility DaffiOne has. It's everything cross-compatible, all the chains you have? Is it just certain bridges have? And where?
You said everything is cross-bridge.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
We have, if you go in our website, you could see all the chains that we support. We have created a learning hub. We strongly believe in education. I mean, I'm fighting every single day to tell people that it's not only the US dollar, the sterling pound, the yen, the euro. There's some other currencies. They're cryptographic assets, coins on a blockchain that eventually will take over the world. So it's not only fiat. We also have crypto. And at DaffiOne, we believe, I mean, if we have the proper adoption, and I'm sure we're going to achieve that mid-2025, we're going to start putting every week another chain. Now we support Solana, that everybody loves lately. Algorand, of course, those are non-EVM chains. And we support Arbitrum, Avalanche, Base, Binance, of course, Kronos, Phantom, Gnosis, Optimus, Ethereum, and Polygon. If you want to send USDC from Polygon to Solana, you can do it. If you want to send from Solana to Algorand, you can do it. I mean, it's multi, and guys, we don't charge fees. You pay only the fees of the aggregator. So on Algorand, we have Deflex and Fog. You just pay those fees. On Solana Regium, we have our 08's 0x, it's 0x on Ethereum. So we have everything is in place. We have proper KYC, have proper AM, everything is in place.
It's really incredible what you guys have built, and I really love the emphasis on security you guys have put too. I mean, when we dove into seed phrases a little deeper earlier, I'd actually misheard you before, but I loved how you were able to dive in and explain the importance of them, but also explain from how what you're doing at Daffy is actually almost better. But we didn't go that deep into what Daffy is actually doing from a security standpoint. I believe the guys have some biometric security features as well. I'd love if you could just dive into the security aspect of self-custody wallets that you guys provide.
Listen, since day one that Mark conceptualized what he wanted to do, he prioritized security in every single step of the way. For us, security and having your coin secure in the wallet, it's task number one and has always been task number one. It's we don't play around with security. That's why that's why we took 4 years to bring it out, the wallet and the payment system and the payroll system that is coming out of the ticketing system, which I'm going to talk a little bit more when we dig into tokenized assets. We focused on the highest security possible that the phone can give us. So, I mean, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're not a cybersecurity company, but we don't depend on the web for the seed phrases to be stored online. They're stored inside the phone. So it has the protection that the device gives you. I cannot dig deeper. I might be at.
No worry, that was great. Thank you so much, Evis. And we are coming up on time. We do want to move into kind of how you see the future of tokenization with DaffiOne before we answer our audience question. That might be great.
Definitely. So, you have to see the wallet. When you see the wallet, you will understand what I would explain right now. The wallet has 3 sections. All right. So let's take, for example, Solana. You open an account on Solana and you have the assets you hold on Solana. The NFTs you hold on Solana. It's a different section in the wallet. And there is a specialized deck. All right. And that deck we put with, in a very simple way with an API, solutions that will allow you to use the wallet for tokenization. And let's take, for example, Infineo, which we're going to talk more when we finish the call here, because we could have on any chain that you will decide to support, in the wallet, on the deck, your platform. So people could open the wallet, they could have their coins, let's say Solana, and their NFTs, of course, which they could be a ticket. And on the deck, they could find Infineon and tokenize their insurance policies. Or they could have a deck from Johnny Walker that they have tokenized for Christmas, the blue label Johnny Walker. Or they could find a deck that gives out rewards because you bought an apartment. Okay, we call it rewards, it's rent, but because it's tokenized, the rent of an apartment. So you could get your rewards streaming into your account, real time, every minute or every hour. Same goes with payroll. We're tokenizing payroll in ways that we couldn't think in the past. I think that every company around the world pays its employees at the end of the month, correct?
I hope.
So you hope, but what we have done, it's the following. You could get your salary every minute streamed into your account without a solution. Imagine now Infineon having 20 people on its payroll, and you get paid $1,000 a month. Divide that by 31. It depends on the month. Let's say this month has 31 days. You divide 31 days your salary. You get it at the end of the day. Every day you get your salary. I think you're going to be a little bit more motivated and incentivized. In the beginning, you're gonna spend more faster, but at the end of the day, you're gonna think that you don't have to work 31 days and then get your money. I'm sure that not a lot of owners will like this, but it's all about the people working, isn't it? It's all about the employee. We want to keep everybody happy so they're motivated and they're productive. That's why we think that tokenization will create a better world for everyone.
That's really incredible, Evis, and I love that kind of example you just gave with streamlined payments. And so thank you so much for all the insights that you've been able to give so far throughout our conversation. We had a pinned tweet and allowed for our audience to chime in with a few questions. And so before we bring things to a close here at the top of the hour, I'd love to ask you a question we have from our audience member here. Andy has asked, I think I know the answer to the question, so I'm going to rephrase it a little. He asked, do you think DaffiWallet is better than MetaMask and Trust Wallet? And we know the answer is yes. So if you could compare DaffiWallet to MetaMask and Trust Wallet and explain why it's better, that would be great.
It's a very tricky question because MetaMask is leading the market with supposedly one of the best wallets ever made. They have 30 million users, and they support today Ethereum and some other layer 2. I think all the layer 2 chains on Ethereum, and soon they will support. I was talking with the head of development. We met 2 weeks ago. Soon they will support almost every chain out there. So I'm not saying that we're better than MetaMask, but what we know is that we do have more features than MetaMask, and in the wallet, self-custodial. So MetaMask is a great wallet. Like Coinbase Smart Wallet is a great wallet, and Exodus, it's a fantastic wallet. There is a significant difference on all of them compared to DaffiOne. If you want to use Coinbase Smart Wallet or MetaMask, you have only one seed phrase. So that seed phrase will give you access to 20 chains. You will not have a unique access to Solana or Algorand or Arbitrum or Avalanche. If you want to move that account to another wallet, you're not able to do that because, especially on Coinbase, they're under the domain that you created on the ENS, Ethereum Name Service, or MetaMask is the same thing. You have one seed phrase for all your accounts. So that's what the tricky part is. It's a little bit dangerous having only one seed phrase for all your accounts. I think that the way Mark has designed and created the wallet is safer and better for the user.
100%, and I completely understand what you mean there. This has been really such a phenomenal space. We have so many topics that we didn't get to get through today, and we're definitely going to have you and Daffy back on in the future. But we are coming up on time here. And so before we close things out, would you like to tell the audience how they can stay in contact and what the best way to hear about updates from Daffy is going to be? Potentially anything that you're planning in the near future that you want the listeners to attend?
Yeah, definitely. All because of Alex. We're everywhere on Twitter. He's an incredible partnership officer. I couldn't find anybody better than Alex to work with. He managed to book you. We're talking at Forbes next week. All 2025, we're going to be in conventions. We're going to be at Token 2049 in Dubai, blockchain events in London. I'm flying to Saudi Arabia in January to talk about tokenization and what we're building. And all of these you can find on all our platforms, on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, Telegram, and Twitter first. We're very active. I am available 24/7. Anybody can DM me. I would love to get back to everyone, everywhere, every day, which is our slogan, actually.
That's
so
incredible.
we're everywhere for everyone, every day.
That's incredible, Evis. This has really been a great space. DaffiOne has a pinned tweet right there. They're at DaffiWallet. Make sure and give them a follow. Stay up to date with them. Alex really has been doing a phenomenal job on their Twitter. I've been listening in, following. They're really producing some great content. And we'll be sure to schedule another conversation again in the near future. This has been a ton of fun. Thank you, Evis, Alex, and for joining, Dr. Murphy for joining as speakers, and to all of you for listening. This has been our bi-weekly real-world asset tokenization space at Infineo. We typically hold these at 12 p.m. Eastern every other Tuesday. But this one we held a little early. Our next one will be at 12 p.m. Eastern, not next Tuesday, but the following, and we hope to see you all there. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thanks all. Thank you, gentlemen. See you next time.